Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, y'all. Another opportunity to either make money in the market or to just learn from the market, right? So let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, y'all, let's get started. So we are looking at the VIX. And as you can see, the VIX has been trading in this zone here, right? Support I have at 1269, which is a previous support and or resistance area, that gray shaded area. And resistance as of now is this 20 EMA, which is here at 1274 area. It looks like it's trying to break out of this area. Just know that we are going to have trouble at 1275. If the VIX breaks 1275 or the 1277 area, it could very well come back and retest this 1286, which is really close to the ATR trail and stop at 1290. And we have a previous resistance area or support area at 1289. So those are going to be trouble places to the upside. Now, if it breaks to the downside, if the VIX comes back under, let's say 1266, then we can come back to 1259, 1254, and again at 1249. Those are going to be trouble places, or I would say support and or resistance places for the VIX. Just keep in mind that we normally look at the VIX just to get an overall of the SPY. So let's go to the SPY just to see where we are as of now pre-market. And as you can see, I have a lot of alerts set for the SPY from yesterday because I was watching the SPY. So right now, the support for the SPY right now is, I would say 544.84, 544.94, 544.94 is our support area, and our resistance area can be here at the 545.23 area. So price is just trading in this zone, and actually it's really here at the 505.04. So that's an area that we definitely need to watch. If SPY should break above that area, we could very well continue, back to the upside. But for some reason, this is our zone. As you can see, price has been coming back to this area. Yeah, it did break to this upside here. Pre-market high is 545.35. However, we have not reached yesterday's high. We didn't break above yesterday's high. So that's something to be mindful of. But as of now, we are trading in this zone. The support is here, I would say around the 544.94 area, and I would watch the 545.03 and again at the 545.23. And know if we break the 545.23, we could definitely come back to the 545.35. And if we break 545.35, then 545.78 is within reach, and we can come back and retest this 546.23. Now let's look at SPY to the downside. If we break under the 544.84, just see that all of the moving averages are here bunched together. In my opinion, that's really strong support, which is right here at another previous support area or resistance area before that 544.63. So if we break under this 544.63, which I'm going to set an alert down here to let me know that the SPY is under that level, because that is a strong level of support. If we break that, we could very well continue to the downside. So to the downside, our trouble places will be under, let's see, under the 544.43. We will have trouble here at 544.13, 544.01, which brings us close to the ATR trail and stop at 543.84, and a previous resistance area at 543.81. So below this ATR trail and stop, I can see the SPY coming back down to 543.66, and then again at 543.52. Those are going to be trouble places for us to the upside and to the downside for the SPY. So if you trade the SPY, I always say trade carefully, right? We'll come back to that just to do a recap. And Tesla is Tesla, right? So Tesla, what I wanted to point out with Tesla is yesterday, it seems the low of this candle was 186.36, and Tesla normally moves $7.60 per day, and that is the ATR. It just gives us an average of how much the stock can move on a daily basis. And as you can see, Tesla reached yesterday at 4:30, it seems. Yesterday at 3:30, Tesla reached a target of 197 76, which is not surprising for Tesla. I wanted to point out that Tesla normally exceeds its ATR. So that's something to be mindful of in either direction. If the average is $7.60, it can move in either direction, but Tesla normally does what Tesla does, right? So our pre-market support for Tesla this morning is support at 194.54, resistance at 195.23. As you can see, we are trading in this zone. Price is just trading in this area here. We are above the 5 EMA, which is good. Just know that 195.53, if we should break above that, we could very well come back and retest 196.36. And if we break the 196.36, we know that 197.06 is an area that we could have a little trouble. If we break the 197.06 or 07 area, just know that 197.75 is possible again today. Again, I always say be careful and trade what you see, because just because it had a strong move on yesterday does not mean it's going to continue up today, right? So we just pay attention to the charts and follow what the candles are showing us, right? So under the 20 EMA, under the 194.62, which is our level right here of support, 194.56 and 194.62 is our support area. I needed to rephrase that. If we should break this area, just know that Tesla can come all the way back down to the 191.83, which will be interesting, or the 192.27. Those are going to be places of support for Tesla if we should break where we are now. And that 191.83 is an area of support or a trouble place for us. It depends on which direction that you're trading. So if we break the 191.83, just know that 191 is an area of support. And again, at 189.96, below 189.96, we can come back to 188.81. And Tesla is interesting. So I always say, y'all, if you trade Tesla, trade carefully, and always allow your charts to lead you, right? So we know that it broke out of a gathering spot here yesterday morning, a strong double bottom here, and this is a great example of ride the 5, because it definitely did that by looking at it on this 30-minute chart, right? So Tesla is always interesting in my opinion. Let's go to AMD and see where we are. So AMD is trading still in this gathering spot here from 156.18 to 156.75, and we've been at this area here. So I would say it could move in either direction. As of now, we are under the 5 EMA, so the 5 is our resistance as of now, the 156.50. Just know that if it breaks above 156.75, we're really close to this 20 EMA at 156.78. It will need to clear above this level and 157.31, and again at 157.60, and the 157.79 are going to be resistance areas for us. If we break above the 157.79, just know that the 158.06 is the ATR trailing stop, and we could very well have trouble in this area. If it should break that 158.06, just know that 158.23 and again at 158.50 are going to be trouble places to the upside for AMD. Now let's look to the downside, right? So if we break under the 156.18, we could very well come back and retest this area here of 155.98, and below 155.98 we could definitely come back to the 155.54. We could come back to the 155.10 and again at 154.84. So those are going to be trouble places to the upside and to the downside for AMD. And I always say y'all trade carefully. Don't rush into your trades. Allow your trades to come to you and, kind of give you an idea of what direction it's trying to go, right? So, and make sure you have confirmation. And when it goes against your why, get out. So NVDA has been trading in this area here. Pre-market support was at this 124.97. Actually, that was the resistance area, the 124.97. The support was here at the 124.41. So 124.41 to 124.97. You can see price has been trading in this area. We did come back down to this area of support at 123.82. So it looks as if NVIDIA is under the 5 EMA, or if we break this 123.82 to the downside, it could very well come back and retest the 122.87, 121.8. 121.81, and again at 120.62 and 120.05. Those are going to be trouble places to the downside for NVIDIA. Now, it could move, back to the upside. So if it breaks above 124.97, just know the 200 EMA is here at 126.02. If it breaks the 126.02, know that we're going to have trouble at 127.49, which brings us really close to this ATR trail and stop at 127.67. Those are trouble places for NVIDIA to the upside and to the downside. And again, it can move in either direction. It normally moves about $6.16 per day, and that moves in either direction, up or down. So yeah, I always say, y'all, trade carefully, trade what you see, and do not rush into your trades. So we're going to go back to the SPY just to see where we are. And let's see, SPY is still trading in our zone here. It has not moved. It's still doing what SPY does. And I do believe that it should be interesting after 8:30 just to see. I do believe we have economic data coming out, so that's something to watch and be mindful of. But again, I always say, do not rush into your trades. I'm going to look at Microsoft this morning. And Microsoft is trading in this gathering spot also. So I would definitely watch the 451.60 area as support, and the resistance area at the 452.28 area. We're trading in this area here, and it could move in either direction. Microsoft normally moves, let's see, $5.93 per day, and yesterday it was an inside day candle, so it should be interesting to see how it moves today. I'm going to look at GameStop because it was an interesting, it was an inside day, and I didn't trade GameStop, but as you can see, we are priming up for something. It's been trading, in this area here for a while, which is interesting. So I would definitely, if that's something that you trade, y'all know I always say trade carefully because it can do, it just does what it does, right? So right now, pre-market support is here at $24.03, and resistance is at $24.15, which is right here at the 50 and the 20 EMA. So that's interesting to see. If it breaks above 24.22 or 24.25 area, I'm going to set an alert here. If it breaks above that area, it could very well make its way all the way back up to the $24.73, which is the 200 EMA, which kind of puts us close to a previous support or resistance area at 24.86, right at the ATR trail and stop. So that 24.86 will be interesting for me. So I'm going to set an alert there as well. Even though I don't trade GameStop, I'm just going to watch it just to see how it moves today, right? So today, again, should be a very interesting day in my opinion. I always say trade what you see. Do not rush into those trades. I'm going to see where the spot is because I believe we're going to get some information just to see how it's moving, right? Let's see. We'll look at the QQQ while we're waiting on the information to come out. So as of right now, our support for the QQQ is here at 479.61. We are under the 5 EMA. Resistance is around 479.79. So it's trading in this zone here, right? And it could very well come back and retest this 479.41. If it breaks, see that pop, that news must have just come out. If it breaks under the 479.20, just know that, it's broken through a key level of support, and we can come back and retest the 478.93. So that should be interesting to watch for the Qs. Just to the upside, just know if it breaks above the 480.08, it could come all the way back to the ATR trail and stop at 480.87. I'm going to go back to the SPY just to see how that candle is looking as of now. So we came back to retest this area, which is not surprising. So that 545.35 is resistance as of now for the SPY. Price came up to this level, got rejected again, and came back down. Right now we're finding support at the 20 EMA at 544.81. So I would definitely watch the 544.80 area. Below that, we can continue back to the downside. Again, that 544.63 is the area that I have marked, to let me know once the SPY breaks beyond this place. So I'm going to set an alert above this 544.35 because prices come back to that area twice. So yeah, again, today should be an interesting day. I always say, y'all, trade what you see. Do not rush into your trades. Make sure you have confirmation. Make sure you can see clearly the direction and follow the trend. I always say that, right? So yeah, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. Y'all, I always wish that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day. And I always like to leave you with this: be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.